What's up, everybody? Jacob here at JK Productions. The NBA trade deadline is tomorrow, Thursday, February 9th, and the Miami Heat are a team that definitely are looking at shopping around. Already traded away Dwayne Dedmon and a second-round pick, give that to the San Antonio Spurs to try to clear up some space, clear up a roster space. Maybe bring in somebody. Miami Heat floating right now. They're the 6th seed. They've been really teetering between the 6th seed and a playoff team, the play-in tournament team. They've been 6, 7, 8, 9 pretty much all season long. A team that can't quite really push forward into the standings as they're now 3 games back of the Nets in the 5th spot. And I really think the Miami Heat should make some moves. I thought in the offseason they should have been in for Donovan Mitchell. I would have traded Tyler Hero at the time for him and given up more on top of that. And I still believe that's a deal that the Miami Heat should have made. But here we are. Right now we're 6 in the East, 29 and 25. Trade deadline is going to be tomorrow, and there's definitely quite a few moves, quite a few guys out there that are at different levels of realistic that I think the Miami Heat should go after. Obviously, there's those 2 big guns, the 2 shooting guards that have been on the market now pretty much all season long, that being Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal and the Miami Heat have been talked in trade discussions pretty much for the last 2 years or so. Not saying the 2 of them together, but rumor-wise, the Miami Heat, Bradley Beal, it's felt like something that's been a matter of time that's going to happen. I'm not too confident that's going to happen. Bradley Beal, I would love him, and he would solve a lot of issues. The Miami Heat, scoring-wise, I didn't even realize how bad the Miami Heat were. Like, I knew the Miami Heat scoring was pretty bad. I did not realize the Miami Heat are dead last in points per game. That's horrible, and a lot of it is because of their guard play. They're 30th in points per game. They're 27th in three-point percentage, 18th in three-point shots made, and Bradley Beal solves a lot of that. Bradley Beal, 22.5 points per ball game, great shooter, one of the best three-pointers in the league this season, averaging 37% from the three-point line, and that's around his career average. I'd love to see the Heat bring Bradley Beal in. Another guy in a similar light as him that I was just talking about is Zach Levine. Zach Levine with the Chicago Bulls. It's been a weird time over the last year with the Chicago Bulls. How at one point they were number 2 seed. They were flying last year with DeMar, with Zach Levine, with Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball still hasn't been able to play yet, and the Bulls have kind of taken a nosedive. But Zach Levine is still producing. 23.6 points per game, actually better than Bradley Beal, and he's a better three-point shooter than a lot of people give him credit for. Career average around 38%. 37.5% from 3 this year. Again, that solves a lot of problems. And the Miami Heat are definitely looking to move some bench play, some rotational guys to go out and get a star, or they at the very least should be. Something they've been trying to move Kyle Lowry now, Duncan Robinson, the contract that he has. These are guys that have been patched together with picks to go out and get a superstar, and I've been preaching for quite a while now. Like, this is something the Miami Heat need to do desperately. They've gotten to the NBA Finals, and they just don't have enough firepower to win it. Last year, they were on the precipice. They were on the doorstep of making the NBA Finals. And again, just falling just short, relying on Jimmy Butler, who's a non-3-point shooter, taking a 3-point shot at the end of the game. If you have Bradley Beal, if you have Zach Levine, I like their chances. I think the ball is in their hands going into that last shot. And Jimmy doesn't have to be the everything for this team that he really has been. Adding either of those 2 superstars would be fantastic. I don't think it's going to happen. But these are conversations that Miami have to be happening right now. A trade that I do believe is a lot more realistic and quite frankly could very much happen is Fred VanVleet. You'd be getting a guy that I think the Heat thought they were getting when they brought over Kyle Lowry from the Toronto Raptors, and actually probably could send Kyle Lowry back in exchange for him. Fred VanVleet would come in, play the point, averaging just under 20 points per game, 6.5 assists per ball game, and the guard scoring has been a real issue on this team. Whether it's Kyle Lowry, whether it's Gabe Vincent running the point, you haven't been getting a lot of scoring from your point guard position. Tyler Hero has stepped up this year and is finally, we're seeing the progression we want to see from Tyler Hero, and he definitely can take steps from there. But specifically from the point guard position, you've been not getting a lot of points that you can rely on a regular basis. I think Fred VanVleet is gettable. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think sending Kyle Lowry back home would be sentimental for the Raptors, and it makes sense to bring him back, just like the Heat brought Dwayne Wade back. And for the Miami Heat, the utility that you're getting out of VanVleet is, again, you're getting that scoring. You're getting that guard scoring that you don't have otherwise. A career 37% three-point shooter, a little bit below that this year, around 35%. But he would more than make up from what we've been lacking in the guard play, especially the point guard play. And Fred VanVleet, he's still pretty young. He's in the prime of his career. He's 28 years old. You can probably get 5-6 serviceable years out of Fred VanVleet if he are serious about trying to push towards a championship. Maybe a little bit of guys that are a tier lower than, we got the Bradley Beals, we got the Zach Levines, we got just their Fred VanVleet, and guys that are certainly gettable, one of which previously played for the Heat, that being Jay Crowder. Yeah, it's not exactly filling the gap of guard scoring, but adding an extra wing player and the 3 and D that Jay Crowder provides, I think could be very beneficial for the Heat to make a playoff push. Of course, he's already been here once with the Heat, averaged 11.8 points per game, one of his best scoring years in recent memory. And he did frustrate me a lot when we did make the finals. I felt like his form left him a little bit, but you're getting him for such a low price, or he should be, being that he isn't playing with the Suns right now because he wants to get traded. So he's somebody who he wants to get traded. The Suns, I'm sure, just want to get this headache done with, get rid of him. Again, this is a guy you could get for cheap, and providing the scoring and then providing the defense on the other side, I would absolutely love it. He's comfortable. He already knows the Heat system. So I think it makes sense for all parties to get this deal done. And then somebody who is still young and looks like they've been trying to trade him now for a while, that being John Collins. He doesn't fill necessarily a hole that the Miami Heat need. That'd be interesting to fill up Bam Adebayo and John Collins on the floor at the same time, going very much against the grain what the NBA is, going with 2 bigs right there. And they're not your stereotypical bigs, especially how Bam has improved in his mid-range game this year. But that'd be a very interesting tandem down low. John Collins, he has been declining year after year now. He's gotten worse pretty much every year since 2019. 2019, his only 20-plus points per game season, averaging 21.6 points per game. This year, 13.2 points per game. So you're getting a declining player. I like to spin that in a way that if anybody's going to get the best out of him, it's going to be the Miami Heat. He's still just 25 years old. It's crazy the decline he has had, but who other than Trae Young has flourished with the Atlanta Hawks? They had that one great year. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it might just be a product of circumstance, a product of not being around a championship environment, not having the caliber of teammates around him to elevate his game. Let me be the issue with John Collins. I would consider giving up some equity for John Collins. He just need to bring somebody in at this point. I mean, I would even consider bringing back Kelly Olynyk because of how putrid the scoring offense is on this team. I mean, you can't get worse than last in the league in scoring. And the fact that we're still the 6th seed then shows how good we are on the defensive side of things. But the offensive numbers that we're putting up, it has just gotten worse. And the Heat have refused to go out and spend picks to give up their depth, quote-unquote depth, because is it truly depth if you're really just getting the 6th seed? They're unwilling to part with these picks, part with these players, and you got a finals appearance, you got a conference championship appearance, cool, but what is the true goal of this team? It's not to get to the plateau and then fall off a cliff. No, it's to keep emerging, keep growing as an organization, and to get another NBA championship. And the East is pretty solid. I mean, going through Giannis, the Nets are kind of up in arms, so we'll see what happens with them, but they still have Kevin Durant. The Boston Celtics are looking as strong as they've been since they won the championship. So you're going to have a tough road if you try and get through these Eastern Conference opponents. And we proved last year it was very difficult just to get through that Celtics team that lost in the finals, and they've only gotten better, and the Heat haven't. They've refused to move off these guys, and there's guys out there that are gettable. Now, taking the big swing and going out and getting Bradley Beal or going out and getting Zach Levine, I don't think it's incredibly realistic, but why not try? Why not try to go out to get those guys? Probably more realistically an off-season type move because the gravity of everything you'd have to give up, yeah, that's a lot to try to swallow mid-season and try to put everything together to try to make a postseason run. But those are the type of swings you got to make, and make it with your chest out, head up high if you're trying to push forward to an NBA playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Bradley Beal is going to stay with the Wizards. I think that Zach Levine is going to stay with the Bulls. those seasons will play out. We'll see what happens with those two players when the offseason comes. But then you have guys like Fred VanVleet. The point guard position has been probably the worst position on the floor this year for the Miami Heat. Moving Kyle Lowry, getting him back to Toronto, bringing in a younger version of himself, certainly someone who's much better than he is right now, bringing in a 20-point-per-game scorer, bringing in a 3-point scorer at the point guard position, adding that to Jimmy Butler, to Tyler Hero, to Bam Adebayo, who have been carrying the way so far. An offense has been putrid and somehow got him to a 6 seed. Then you might be able to start to finally chip away at the 5, the 4, and we'll see what goes on from there. But for a team that is teetering between 6, 7, 8, 9 for those play-in games, and they're really holding on by a thread because of the fact that they're last in the league in scoring, I believe a move like these are necessary for the Heat to compete when it comes to the playoffs. Let me know down below. Who are you interested in the Miami Heat going on pursuing as they look to make a playoff run? We've got the trade deadline tomorrow, so not a lot of time left, but it's here. It's now or never time for the Heat this season to go out and make a move and try to improve on what is the worst offense in the league. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Thank you all very much for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.